Let's go.
Hi, I'm Callan O'Keefe, and this is Motorsport Radio.
You can have it till you can't take no more.
And joining us live from his home in Wales, please welcome onto the show, Ben Hingeley. Hi, Ben.
You all right? Nice to see you again.
Fantastic to see you. How are you? How's life at the moment?
It's good, yeah. It's been a very, very busy Christmas period since the end of the British F3 season, so been keeping busy. It's starting to settle down a little bit now the last couple of days and getting into Christmas, but yeah, still very busy.
Yeah, we are speaking just a few days, about a week before Christmas, this interview, and as we are speaking, we're coming off the back of some very interesting tests for you in GP3 as well. Tell us more.
So since the end of the year, you know, we did the last bit of Euro Formula with Fortec, which was really good. Had a high at Silverstone with P4 and qualifying P3, and then so we moved on to the GP3 test in Abu Dhabi, which was an amazing experience. Much more power, much more downforce, and the tyres especially were a big difference. So yeah, there was a lot to take in. We organised it quite late in the day, so I missed the first day of the test and competed in the second and third day, which was quite difficult. You know, there was a lot of experienced guys out there that had done the 3 days, and also a couple of them did the actual weekend as well. So I was a couple of days behind, caught up I thought quite quickly, and finished P6, which I thought was really good. I set my standards a little bit higher. I wanted kind of top 5, top 3s, but I was against some very experienced guys, and looking at it, I think that was 3 tenths off quickest. So it was very close, and a great benchmark to go forward on. And then since then, we've done some FIA testing as well towards the end of this year, which was very, very late. We hadn't really looked into FIA F3 at all, and done some very successful tests, and we'll see over the next coming weeks which way we go.
Now, it sounds very much, Ben, like you are a man who has all the options on the table and a very bright future ahead of you. You're a multiple British F3 race winner in 2017, and as you've just said, you've already been looking at GP3 potentially. You've already raced in the Euro Formula Open. I always get that name confused. Euro Formula Open? Yeah, those ones. Yeah. And also been doing the FIA ones as well. I suppose it's, you don't have anything confirmed at the moment, but could it be that maybe 2018 might see you doing a few different things, if anything, or if you do go into one particular direction, would you just be doing that for the entire year?
I think, options are very open at the moment. Like I said, we've done a lot of testing in all 3 categories now. I think I can safely say I'll be racing in Europe next year in one of those 3. Which one it is, I really don't know at the moment. It's all in the hands of my sponsors and which way they want to go. And hopefully within the next couple of weeks it'll all be sorted out, and we can get a real good plan together and go into 2018 strongly. GP3 seems a very good option, as well as FIA and Euro Formula, to be fair. They're all very good. I think we'd probably commit more to one championship and focus entirely on that one instead of jumping in and out of different ones. But who knows? I really didn't expect to be doing this much testing as I have done. The GP3 one was very late. I did the 2 days, and then FIA, like I've said, was very out of the blue. And I think I've completed 6 days in that now since the GP3 test, which has been the last 3 weeks basically, 2 days every week. So yeah, it's all come as very quickly, and yeah, just have to see what comes next.
I guess we will just have to wait and see. It might be a fantastic Christmas present for you. Who knows? That would be something, I suppose, to find out where you're driving on or around Christmas, as it currently is at the moment. So, talking about your 2017 campaign, Ben, how would you say that your season went for you? Because you ended up in the British F3 Championship anyway, best of the rest behind Carling. You were the top non-Carling car in the championship at the end of it. Must have been a comfort, at least.
Yeah, you could say that. Carling were a very strong outfit this year. There's no hiding that. They were very quick. Every track they went to, very strong. They had some very good drivers as well. But you can't take that away from them. Inarm was very strong from the word go. James really had his moments, and so did Cameron. I think Cameron, was it pole in the first 2 or 3 rounds, outright in all 3 of something like that. Anyway, he was pole quite a lot at the start of the year, and then Inarm stepped up his game, even though he was completing the wins, and James was always very consistent. So they had 3 very good drivers bouncing off each other, which was always going to be hard to beat. But I felt me and Fortec and my other 2 teammates, we did a good job. We got us, we had our fair share of wins, second highest in the championship, which was great. And at times showed some really good speed. Sometimes we were quickest by, I felt comfortably sometimes. Spa was a very good round for us. Silverstone was a good one. Rockingham, where I picked up my first win, we were very quick. And Donington, obviously, pole and a win. So yeah, we had our very strong moments, and we also had some unlucky moments as well, which probably ruled us out of challenging Inarm and pushing him a lot more throughout the year. But that's racing; these things happen, and finishing 3rd overall, we're probably, I think that was a good result considering everything.
Yeah, certainly, and we were just enjoying anyway on our video feed some of the highlights from your season, just a couple of them, and you won quite a handful of races ultimately in the end, and yes, you did have some bad luck and some decisions go against you, but it, like you said, it is racing, and that kind of does happen as well to everybody. Everybody gets into a bit of trouble now and again. But overall, to finish 3rd is, I'd say, a pretty good season as well, combined with your Euro Formula races as well. How many races did you do in that? Was it about 6 or something? A couple of rounds?
Yeah, we did the last 4 rounds, I think it was. Silverstone, Monza, Jerez and Barcelona. So yeah, we did the last 4 rounds of that, which was pretty good. It was a good learning experience. Cameron Das as well came over and did the rounds with Campos, and I think Samaya did as well with Carlin. So there's a couple came over with me, and I was comfortably quickest in the team in Fortec. I was out qualifying my teammates, which is usually the first thing people look at. So I was quite happy with that. The results weren't kind of there, but we had a lot of pace. Monza was a good highlight for me. I really enjoyed that race there. I think I started at 14th and came up to 5th in the race. So that was a really good race for me. Same as Silverstone, qualified 8th and came through to 4th. So we had good race pace. Missing a bit of overall pace. We were always a little bit off, but it was good. It was good. It pushed me forward to really attack the GP3 test, and then when I've done these FIA tests as well, it really did help. So yeah, it was good.
I suppose for a race driver, you're never quite happy if you're I suppose you're never really happy, are you? I suppose you always want a bit extra, or maybe you always think you could have maybe just done that last lap a bit better or something. Yeah, I suppose. No,
Yeah.
no one's ever completely totally happy. But I mean, just talking a bit more about yourself though, Ben, for those who actually don't know you but might have heard the name Ben Hingeley. Then just going back through your career, something that I guess a lot of people probably wouldn't have ever known if they didn't already know you, is that you were one of the first Brits to ever be selected for a Ferrari Driver Academy program.
Yeah, so basically, at the end of, I think it was 2013, we got approached by Santander, and they sent me over to the Ferrari Driver Academy for a three-day course over there, which at the time I'd not done anything in single-seaters. I was still in karts, and they took me through a number of tests and everything, and wanted me to do some racing with them over in America that year.
Wow.
Unfortunately, which sounded really promising. Everything was looking good, but unfortunately, my dad, who's backed me all the way through karting, and he backed me through the Formula Jedi Championship as well, just couldn't afford to take me any further. And credit to him and my mum and my family, they've all backed me so much that they've got me to where I am today through hard work and never kind of giving up. So they've always pushed me for sponsorship, always pushed forward, and so unfortunately I couldn't go through with the Ferrari thing simply because I didn't have the money to go and race in America, and at that time go even into Europe and race. And that brings me to my sponsors now, Faken and Paul and Peter. Without them I wouldn't be doing any of this, so really thankful to them. And now everything's starting to come together a bit better. Hopefully we can get some really good results.
It seems like since then anyway, your career has gone sort of almost through the roof, really. It has gone up and up, and I mean it's one of those sort of age-old sort of stories that we always hear from race drivers, that unfortunately, yes, they've got some amazing options in front of them, but budget, everyone suffers from not having enough money to do what they want to do ultimately, or else everybody would be in Formula One, I suppose, at some point, wouldn't they? So
of course. I mean that's probably the downside of the sport, that it does resolve a lot around money, and if you don't have in this day, if you don't have multi-millions in the bank, then you're really struggling. So I feel very fortunate to have the opportunity and have such great sponsors like Fakem to push me forward. My mum and dad, like I said, took me as far as they could, and like I said, through their just determination to keep pushing, to keep trying to find something to get me through, we managed to speak to them and haven't looked back since that stage, really. We did the Formula Jedi Championship, which really put me forward and kind of shown what I could do straight out of karting into that. Well,
you won it, didn't you? You won the whole thing.
Yeah, I won the whole thing in my first year, which was great, and it was a really difficult class. It seems, in my eyes, it's underrated a little bit because you've got a hell of a lot of power, and not a lot of downforce, even though it's a single-seater car, and there is some spec of downforce in it. So the car is very lively, especially when it's wet. You've got a motorbike Abusu engine in the back of it, which is so powerful, and it makes it very difficult to drive. So that was a real high for me, which then propelled me into British F3 for the year after with HHC. So and from there, again, like I said, never looked back and kept pushing forward.
Well, it was great to see that career progression anyway, from Formula Jedi, or from karting into Jedi, or F1000 as it is now. It's been rebranded, for those who didn't know, into F3, now to be a multiple F3 race winner, and into, as you said, racing definitely in Europe somewhere doing something next year, and then from there, who knows? So that would be good. Again, though, Ben, I wanted to sort of ask more about you as a person, though, because I feel I like to always ask about drivers, because there's only so much that we know watching the brilliant produced TV programs that you're on, and you see the podium and then you all disappear for a couple of weeks. But how did you first get started into karting? How did that come about, and why? Why karting?
Well, pretty much. I was always big into my football. I love football, still do. Play quite a bit when I can. And my dad. We live quite locally to GYG karting up in Bala. He used to go up. He got his own cart and went up with a couple of his mates every Wednesday. And it was kind of a bit of an open test laugh for them. Nothing more, nothing less. Right? It was just a bit of fun. And anyway, I was off school one week, and he offered. He said, "Do you want to come with me and have a watch?" And I did. Wanted to get into it a little bit, so he bought me my first kart, and then it went from there. We were up there every week, just practicing, trying to get quicker and quicker. And then Eddie from GYG said, "Why don't you get him into the club championship they had there at the time?" So that's what I did. I took my ARC test and got into some of the racing and did quite well. And from there, it's just progressed every year. Got more and more, competitive. Started going around different tracks, and then eventually went into Super One, the British Championships. So that's pretty much how I started, really.
So yeah, I suppose like a lot of people, you sort of found your love for motorsport the more you were successful at it, I suppose.
Well, no, I wouldn't so much say that. But
no?
I loved motorsport from the day I sat in the car. I really enjoyed it, and it's such a great bond as well. Everyone has to really come together for it, and that's what kind of makes it very special as well. It's a team effort. Even though the drivers kind of sat there on the grid or on the podium taking the trophy, it's a bit of a shame because they never see the hard work and dedication from everyone else that goes into it. Straight away from family commitments, racing takes over your life, not only your own but your family's. So every weekend you're at a track, you're at a simulator, say, or a gym to train, and it really does. So, but getting back to your point, I fell in love with it as soon as I stepped in it, and the competition side of it just came because I'm quite I don't like losing. I'm quite fierce in competition.
Competitive, yeah.
Yeah, competitive, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm a very competitive person. Don't really like losing a lot. That's how we got into it. And my dad always jokes, now my mum, because I always used to wish for these pair of football boots that were very expensive. And now they always joke they wish they'd got me them, because those boots compared to a set of tyres in karting were absolutely nothing. So, yeah.
I can definitely imagine, for the pain of many motorsport mums and dads. It's the best way to lose a lot of money, I suppose, to get involved in motorsport.
Yeah, it is. It's but don't take anything away from the sport. You can do it all different types of levels, and I'm quite lucky. I still see it now. I run my own little kart team. On weekends I'm not racing. Yeah, you do a lot of coaching as well, don't you? Yeah, a lot of coaching away from my own racing, and back at my local tracks, GYG, Hooton Park, and Three Sisters as well at Wigan. So, so I'm still involved with motorsport straight back from basic levels. So, and it's still great to see how everything comes together with you, terms of your mums, your dads, your families. They all come here to support you, and when you're that young, you don't really see it. When you are very young, it's just kind of win or lose, and that's it. But you don't kind of see the pressures that everyone else goes under to get you to that stage.
Yeah, all the sacrifices and personal sacrifices. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many, and as you grow older, you do see that. But I think because I'm still involved with it and still involved with a lot of young drivers that are trying to do the same as what I've done, you see it more so. And yeah, so it does put into perspective of how far I've come and how far we've come as a family to get me to this point. So yeah, it's really good.
So what does it mean to you? Because as you've just said, you are still very much involved in the grassroots of motorsport with your own team, and we do see you sometimes on your social media coaching the youngsters and giving bits of advice to people who need it, people who could benefit from the wisdom of Ben Hingeley, basically. For whatever that's worth. But how important is it to you anyway to keep that connection with the grassroots of motorsport? Because a lot of people at your stage of your career, where you're looking at, I'm very much focused on moving on up the ladder in motorsport, are solely focused on doing that, and often it's kind of rare, basically, to find people who do what you amazingly still have time to do, which is coach and manage a kart team.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's very time consuming, and it's becoming more and more difficult every year to continue the kart team. At this stage in time, it's a bit 50-50 of whether it's going to be able to continue into 2018, because of course I've got a lot, there's a lot of financial being invested in me to do well in Formula 3. This year just gone, and whatever brings next year. So I've really got to concentrate on that, and that's my main goal, my main priority. If I can then help young drivers come through and learn, because like I've already said, I didn't really have that what's the word, didn't really have that kind of that kind of support or help when I was their age. So to be able to give something back, and you see them coming through now, and it's a very difficult ladder to climb, motorsport.
God, yeah.
As anyone will tell you, it's very difficult, and any help that can be given is muchly appreciated. So that's what I try to do. Try and point them in the right direction with anything, really. Obviously I drive and coach, but again, a lot of people just want advice of where to go and what to do. Simply because you can do a lot in karting. You can race in Super 1, you can race in Europe, you can do a lot. But when you kind of go into single seaters, you so much start again in a way, because you've got a different kind of style of driving, and again, you're in a car, you're not in a car. It's a lot bigger. You've got downforce. It's a big change. So a bit of advice in both ways, really. I try and give them, and yeah, but my pure goal is my racing, and whatever I'll focus on next year. At the moment, it's a bit unsure because, like I've said, nothing's confirmed yet. But hopefully, it will be soon. Hopefully before Christmas, and I can really get my act together and get a plan together.
And hopefully, whatever you do end up doing in 2018, you will perhaps hopefully be able to keep the karting team as well, because that'll be good as well to keep that progression. But also as well, Ben, I wanted to ask you about where you get your motivations from. Who was or who is perhaps your biggest source of inspiration from? What gets you motivated the most to carry on and keep going and keep the pressure on yourself in some instances?
Well, I think I've already explained I'm quite competitive. I'm quite a competitive person. I'd say in terms of your question, I just love the sport. I love, like I've said, how it brings everyone together, and you've got to see the certain sacrifices that people make for you, and that kind of brings back about, what you've got to kind of sacrifice as well. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time with my friends as much as they're great with me. Throughout school, I was always away karting, always away racing, always doing something. So when they were going out on weekends and stuff, I was always away. And they're so supportive over that, and you just kind of see the sacrifices that are going on around you, and really, the older you get, the more you kind of see them, the more that kind of drives you on as well. But I think what drives me on more than anything is just passion to win, and the faith that everyone has in me.
It was really good to see you on the podium various times in 2017 in the British F3 Championship, and it was. I was lucky enough to be able to follow you guys around and stick my camera in your face now and again when you got onto the podium and ask you really boring questions sometimes. So. Wherever your career ends up going, though, Ben, seriously, best of luck with it. We will keep up to date with you, and when you inevitably get onto the podium, whether it's in FIA, F3, or maybe GP3, who knows, whatever it is, wherever it is, I know you will do really well in it. So best of luck from myself and everyone at Motorsport Radio, and thank you for coming on, and happy Christmas.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for having me. It's been great having you guys follow us around all year, and you've really shown the championship in a different light as well. Which is great. You've given it a lot more personal touches, I feel. So thank you for that.
Motorsport Radio.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Ray from the Kawasaki Racing Team.
Hi, this is Nick Hamilton.
Hi, I'm Jamie Chadwick.
Hey everyone, I'm Bradley Smith.
Hi, I'm Joanne Zacco.
Hi, I'm Bradley Wright.
Hi, I'm Seb Morris.
Hi, I'm Dan Linfoot from Honda Racing British Superbike Team, and this is Motorsport Radio.